I always yawn when I do audios. It's fucking weird. But right now, it sort of looks like Sky loses. If you look at what's going on in the game, Sky is 52 and Fav has almost 80. Has 80 food. He's pretty much has a maxed out army. And you would imagine Sky to be losing this game. Well, as you can see, there is much more of this game left. And Fav, in order to not lose his panda, was forced to TP out. Now, those MK towers really do come in handy, because he's going to be able to make some more towers and upgrade them. You need at least like 4 or 5 towers at your expo at all time versus Undead. Otherwise, they're just going to take like 5 Gargs and run over and just start killing, massacring peasants like no tomorrow. Another thing Fav is doing is he's making a boneyard, which is pretty epic in my opinion. Like, you don't really see frost worms that much in a game, so I always like to see a game where there's going to be lots of frost worms. It's sort of interesting. But personally, versus the army of 5 right now, I think it's a lot more vulnerable to tanks. Gargs versus piercing damage of tanks, which are more or less AoE, it's pretty much absolute rape. I guess the main reason Sky is opting not to do this is because it's too susceptible to well-placed healing scrolls. Once like 6 or 7 tank wave shots go by, everything's half HP, healing scroll are all full HP. It's just not fast enough. I think that's Sky's concern. He wants sort of a run and gun, mass gyro, all these dead destroyers. You know what I mean? Like, their machine guns do kind of sound like that. Yeah, okay, I'm lame. Now, this is one of the most influential battles of the game. Sky's gonna lose his griffins pretty quick. It manages to staff one out, but he's gonna keep focusing the panda. And the thing is about the panda is he can't be healed really, can't be healed by coil, and he dies fast because you have level 3 bolt, you have level 3 light, you can heal your heroes. It's hard. 1 hero versus 3 heroes. That's the principle. It shouldn't win, but in theorycraft at least. And this is a real game of Warcraft, so you can't really theorycraft because too many factors come into play. But if you look how many gyros Sky's made, his entire army is made to counter his entire army. Now, theoretically, his army sort of is walking into an already countered army. The panda pretty much counters mass gyro in theory, because you're gonna hit every single gyrocopter. I mean, maybe not every single, but quite a lot. You're gonna hit a lot of gyrocopters in one breath of fire, and if it's one breath of fire that's going to be doing all this to you, I would say not go gyrocopters and maybe I don't know, like tanks, like just a lot of tanks, like 80 tanks. Really, that's the best you can do. But Sky seems kind of stubborn in this game, and he's going to say, fuck it, I'm just going to do it this way. And that's, I think, very bold to be making this mini copter, but you're going to see exactly how a skilled player positions his gyros. Because, you know, obviously, if you just send all your gyrocopters in one big mass and fight head-on, the only thing you're going to be getting is a bunch of dead gyrocopters, because one breath of fire is going to make them all red HP, and then mana destroyer splash damage, you're going to have a level 9 panda and an entire army of destroyers, gargs, and frostworms with absolutely no counter to speak of. So it is very important, as a human player, to realize positioning. Positioning is one of the most important things versus Undead. When an Undead player, in general, is coming to fight you, as the human player, expanded, we're going to say in a classical game, expansion versus no expansion, you have the ability to pick the fight. You are the player who chooses exactly when to fight the opponent. Because if you think about it, you can just run behind your towers if you don't want to fight. It doesn't matter, you know? Anyway, this is a good example of positioning. This is what I was talking about. So he has this whole huge, massive, ginormously gay army. And what is Sky gonna do? He's gonna heal his AM. And then he's gonna run in, he's gonna start using these gyros. And it's very difficult for Sky right now, because he just lost the body of his gyros. But he's gonna try and keep his his composure together. And he has these 2 groups of gyros left. And he's gonna send one group of gyro on one side and then another group of gyro on the other side to sort of flank the Undead player, to make it difficult for the Undead to really use the brute of his army correctly, because the panda could only breath fire one set of gyro, and there comes the third set of gyro, and really all the gyros just sort of bunched up in this trifecta around these destroyers and just absolutely raped all these units. And that is exactly how gyros are meant to be used, especially versus a panda. That was a pretty incredible play right there. If you look how much EXP these fuckers give, one of these like little pandas gives like a kafillion jillion HP, or not HP, experience. It's really absurd when you think about it, just simply because I always focus the pandas. You may think that's sort of walking into a trap. Focus the fire panda because he has like the least HP and can't run, and then you focus the storm panda, and then you focus the earth panda, and you can basically win off of that, mostly because you're gonna get like a level up on one of your heroes almost guaranteed. So it's important. Now the pandas are almost out. Sky's pretty much relying on this fact. He's gonna be able to kill this panda here, or not kill it, but harass it and get it away. This is pretty. It's good Dota skills here by this panda, because he doesn't die. He doesn't die. His timings are so perfect. It's like it's an unkillable hero because he always has a TP, always has a mana potion, a health potion, a vulnerability potion. He just has so much like life. You cannot kill him. It's frustrating. Now Sky's making excellent use of the bomb ability, but the first thing you notice is here comes the panda. Oh shit. Once the panda comes along, you really don't have too much of a choice with your gyros, but Sky did a pretty good job kind of faking him out. The MK wasn't there just yet, but if the MK would have eventually got there, the panda would have been screwed because it would have just died straight up. So it's a pretty good thing that Sky did here in sending his paladin out way early. But he's still going to try and get this panda kill. It's really hard, obviously, because the panda, a healing potion only heals like what, 150 HP, 250 HP, like it's nothing. So it's very hard to keep this panda up at very high HP, especially when he has 1300 and it takes like 6 health potions to fully heal him, and he doesn't really have an obsidian statue lying around. So what Sky's basically doing is abusing the fact, the low healing ability of this panda. Like the DK healing with Unholy Aura plus Blight, it's rape. Like straight up, you're fine on that. Because you can just sit on your Blight for like a minute and you're fully healed. If you need to, that is. I mean, obviously you really ideally don't want to be doing something like that. You notice what this guy's doing? He's sort of just trying to pick off units. The way I figure it, he just sort of, he has like, his MK is gonna die soon, so he has to staff it out, obviously. And then, you know, I mean, and that's pretty standard stuff, I guess. But Fav pretty much knew that he could just get the gyros to go away, so he did, because the MK is gone. The MK is sort of the building block of this entire strategy that Sky is doing here, because without the MK, he's gonna have no disabler for the panda. And it's very important to, especially when your opponent's doing a solo hero, whether it be a solo DH, etc., that you want to have a hero that is capable of just stopping it. It doesn't move.